the Acolyte Episode 6 review. First of all, I need to apologize / correct myself for last week. So last week I was really baffled by the fight, and I guess I wasn't watching it closely enough, but there was the part where the Jedis hit the bad guy with the smiley helmet, and their lightsabers were like sparkly for a second and didn't work, and then they turned back on, and I was like, okay, whatever. But then the part when Daphne Keene's character was fighting him, she had two lightsabers, and I just assumed they were both the same length. So while they're fighting, again, I thought that he chopped off a part of the lightsaber, and then she turned it back on, and it came up shorter. So I was wrong, and people in the comments pointed that out. So I wanted to acknowledge that. So I just wasn't watching that closely enough. So what actually happened is she hit some part of the armor that he has that is kurtosis that shorts out their lightsabers. And so her lightsaber was already a short one, and so it just shorted out a little bit and then came back the same length. I was confused. So apology / correction for my last video, but let's get into this very boring episode. So some questions I had going in is, does Soul know that May and Osha have switched places? Oh, and another question I had was, or I guess prediction was, is May gonna turn good and Osha gonna turn bad? I don't know. All right, so the good parts of this episode are this guy. He's a great actor. He's probably the best part of this show, and the main bad guy with the smiley helmet. I think those two guys are awesome to watch. Their acting's really good, and I'm interested in their characters. And there's some fun little creatures on the planet that the bad guy takes Osha to. It's weird calling somebody Osha, occupational safety health something. Anyway, there's some fun little creatures on there, so I really liked that. Okay, so obviously there's spoilers in here. But yeah, lots of stuff I didn't like. It was 32 minutes of actual episode because there's a whole bunch of minutes of credits. This is probably 5 minutes of content stretched to 32 minutes. It was very boring. So just going through my notes here. So Soul tells May, he's like, take the wheel. And I get it. It's like a phrase you say. It's not an actual wheel, but it's like, that's kind of like an Earth saying. Like, it kind of took me out of Star Wars for them to say that. I thought that was kind of dumb. And then, I already said that I think the bad guy is the best part. Him and Soul. And again, speaking of taking things from our world and bringing it into Star Wars world in a distracting way. So Osha has this little droid that she's just like fawning over all the time, right? And bad Osha gets the droid, and the droid's like, and she's like, don't make me reset you to factory settings. And it's like, what? That is such a like Earth thing to say. And then, no joke, she takes the little droid thing and she holds down two buttons on it, just like you do on certain phones here, where you hold down like power button and the volume button, and she just like holds them down, and then it factory resets it. And it's like, did I just watch somebody factory reset a cell phone in Star Wars? It was so stupid. All right, and I just cannot get sold on her acting. It is terrible. She's always making the exact same facial expression. Like, there is a huge range of events that happen, and her face stays the same the whole time. So the production value on here is, it baffles me that in Star Trek the original series, the show just, it looks kind of cheap. But then you have Kirk, William Shatner's face, he completely sells every single scene he's in. It can be the hammiest thing in the world, but you look at his face and you're like, that is Kirk, and he's in trouble on this gangster planet. And it's believable. She is just not believable. It's just, there's no expression going on. And it's the same thing with the Jedi. I cannot remember her name, the bald green Jedi, but she's just so wooden. All right. I am interested in what happens with this helmet, this kurtosis helmet, and I thought it was cool that the little cave that they're in has like a kurtosis vein in it. So it's like, oh, okay, that's why you're on this planet, to get this stuff. This was so boring. Now it is kind of cool to see dark side people trying to seduce people. Like part of episode 3, part of the reason I love Star Wars episode 3 is watching Palpatine slowly manipulate Anakin by pushing him more and more. And that actually starts happening here with the guy with the smiley helmet, where he slowly starts manipulating Osha to think more of herself. And I like that subtle manipulation. And Disney Star Wars continues to have like insta travel. I feel like in the Star Wars, the movies, the older movies, and in the books, I feel like space travel actually took time. But I feel like in Disney Star Wars, it's like instantaneous. That's just how it feels. It seems like they can't slow down and be like, yeah, they were waiting in orbit for like 2 days, or anyway, it just seems everything's so fast and instant. I don't like it. Kind of like is it Rise of Skywalker where they do like the light speed skipping? Like, is there really that many places they could skip to in that amount of time, or is it what I'm saying, and that their travel is just like way faster than, because they call it light speed in Star Wars, but clearly they're not going light speed. I know we shouldn't be in Star Wars for the science, but I feel like when they had established something in their universe that they're breaking it now, it's annoying, and it's kind of across the board with Disney Star Wars. All right, and the last thing that is just starting to get annoying and tedious at this point is he is like, I'm going to tell you what happened at the witch place so many years ago. And then like something interrupted him. And he's like, okay, once we get back to the ship, I'll definitely tell you everything. And then like they switch places, and then he's like, okay, I'm going to tell you everything. And it just keeps like, it's just getting tedious at this point, him promising to tell everything and then like something interrupting it. It's just like, it's just annoying at this point. All right, well, episode 6, not very good. I was thinking, I mean, I don't know if hope is the right word, but episode 5 was the best so far. So I was like, maybe 6 will be even better, 7 will be even better, and it'll kind of just take off. But no, it went way back down, like just not good. There was some interesting music on the little island that Osha and Bad Guy are on. But other than that, I just felt like not much happened. Like I said, about 5 minutes of content stretched out to 32 minutes. Well, I'll be curious to see if the two girls switch places and May becomes good and Osha becomes bad. I don't know. But I hate to admit it, but I am curious to see how this ends up. It feels like a soap opera. It feels like the acting is soap opera level. So anyway, let me know what you think. This show's terrible, but I'm still watching it. Yeah, I like discussing. I like people correcting me, and also there's people that seem to really be enjoying this that are watching these and commenting, and I really do like to hear your feedback on why you like it. And I didn't know about kurtosis, so people are teaching me stuff. So if you have stuff to share, do it. Okay, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.